Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be getting into probably one of the most crucial parts of your fantasy football draft. We're going to be talking about the running backs. I'm going to tear them up, put guys where I believe they need to go. My list may coincide with other people's lists. It may not. You'll see that along the way. But if you wouldn't mind, like, share, and subscribe, and be much appreciated. So if you know my content, I'd just like to get straight into it. Let's go with the general consensus in regards to who will be the number one running back taking the fantasy football. It's probably going to be Bijan Robinson. I have a slight difference of opinion, but let's see if we can find him here. And forgive the advertisements. It's the website. I can't do nothing about it. I've been trying, but it's somewhat of an issue. But it's all good. Got to make that money. Let me see. Excuse me. Now we all know why this is. There we go. We all know why this is. The amount of touches, really. Catching the ball, running. He pretty much is the show there, as far as offensively speaking. Along with Penix, the young quarterback, obviously they're going to rely a lot on him and the backup there. But I would imagine his stats are going to be somewhat similar to what they were last year, barring injury, anything like that. God forbid. He played in all 17 games last year. 317 points is estimated for him this upcoming year as far as fantasy football points are concerned. I agree with that number. Especially now that they're going to use Penix. He might, it might be slightly more than that. So be on the lookout. Now, me personally, cause for those who don't know, I'm gonna be doing my live draft, my paid league coming up here soon, and pretty much if I got an early pick, you're gonna see me pick this guy here. Let me apologize for doing it this way. He's another tier 1 running back. He played in 17 games last season, which is surprising, honestly, considering what he does for the team. His size, not the biggest guy, but that seems to be okay. He seems to carry it well. And his touches, both receiving the ball, running the ball, he's going to be scoring. I think, number one, he's a difficult guy to game plan for, so that's always a win. Well, that's not a win, excuse me. That's always a positive in regards to what players you should pick. Guys that are hard to scheme, guys that cause matchup issues, you should always be on the lookout for. But he does that. He probably will be my number one running back I take, personally speaking. But general consistency to kind of give your team some stability. He's the kind of guy you probably want to go Bijan first. Bijan kind of creates stability to your roster, especially if you're new to fantasy football or you haven't had much success or you don't draft that well, however it may be. Bijan is probably the way to go. This way you can put him on there and don't have to do too much thinking. Throw him there. You got your running back one. With Gibbs, you got to be a little bit more savvy, a little bit more clever. You have to think a little more. You can just put him out there. He's going to be your number one, but you have to be a little bit more aware of what exactly it is you're going to do. Now, moving along, let's see who we got. I see somebody down here who piques my interest. How about Bucky Irvin? Where's he going to go? Now, he has, let me see. He's competed in all 17 games last year, and he's projected at 249 points in the fantasy. Me personally, I see him as a tier 2 guy. Some as a tier 1. I've seen him as high as that. I've seen him fairly high in people's ratings as far as the running backs are concerned. Tier 2 is not bad, and be on the lookout coming toward the middle of the video, the end of the video. I'm going to be adjusting these guys from 1 to and how I see them in order. Right now, I'm just putting them in their proper tiers, and I'm doing it that way. Let's move along and see what we got. See what else we got down here. Let's go James Cook. Now, James Cook has pretty much been the show at running back down there. He's done a great job of that. I'm going to put him in this tier 2. I think of their offense, how they like to use them. Tier 2 is a safe place to put them. They got him in 1 there. Apologies about that. Yeah, he his usage is similar to that of Bijan's. He's not so much like Gibbs. Gibbs is more of a receiver running back. Bijan is more a running back receiver. Cooks is kind of used that way, more the running back receiver. I think if he was a little bit better at receiving the ball in the backfield, which he's good at, by the way. I'm just saying if he was a little bit better, he probably better suited being used like Gibbs. But that's not the case. So what that means is he's gonna get a lot of carries. Um, I don't know if he's gonna score a lot though. I don't know if I think they're gonna be looking to use other guys in the red zone, different things like that. I don't know if he's gonna be a prominent scorer, but the yardage will be there. His contribution will be there. The work rate will be there. So tier 2 seems good to me. Let me make sure I'm okay. Moving along. Let's see what else we got there. Here. How about Saquon? I know where I'm going with him. Yeah. There you go. Now, obviously, he played in 16 games last year, right? You want to be wary. He's coming off a Super Bowl. You want to be wary of him a little bit as being your number one back. Not too much. Don't overthink it by any means because he's worth a number. He's worth number one running back slot. Issue is he's coming off a Super Bowl. Slight injury. Well, not slight injury, but it was injured last year. Played heavy carries during the playoffs, so you just don't know how he's going to be used. How they're going to look to, because they do a good job of. I hate using the word load management, but they do a good job of making sure that he's there for the entirety of the season. That's good on your roster. We're talking about fantasy, but there's some uncertain kind of things going on there that you may not. In other words, let me get to the point. It'd be best if he's your number 2, but he's worth the number 1 slot. So if you get him, he's your number 1 running back. Don't worry, don't be caught up on that. But really, I would prefer him as a number 2, but he's worth this number 1 spot just because of the uncertainty of how he's going to be used. And but everything else, number 1 slated. Let's see what else we got. I'll give you another guy. How about Devin Achani? Oh, and by the way, I don't know if I said this about Cook. He played 16 games. His point projection for 2025 is about 234 points. I think that's about right. Saquon Barkley, he's projected at 316 points, and he played in 16 games last year. We got a Chani. I think I'm gonna throw him in 2. What y'all think about that? 301 projected points for fantasy this upcoming season. Played in 17 games last season. He's a guy. How best to put it? He's a guy you put him on your roster. You're not too worried. He's gonna get touches. He's gonna get the production. He's gonna be schemed right. You know that for certain. You know he's gonna have his opportunities, and you know because he's gonna be schemed right, he's gonna have his opportunities to make big plays. He's not in the tier 1 list because and a lot of that has to do with scheme and different things like that. However, tier 2, that's about where I see him. I think that makes a lot of sense. Moving along, let's go McCaffrey. Interesting guy, McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey. He's projected to have 295 fantasy points this upcoming season. Only played in 4 games last year. So take that in consideration. You know, there's a good chance that he could start off. You know, I think they're going to look to use him a little differently than they had in the past. He might start off slow. So I'm imagining you probably, he's another guy. I mean, he's kind of on that bubble, tier 2, tier 1 for me. Usage, coming off a major injury. So I think he's going to start off fairly quick. They're going to look to get him acclimated. Around the middle of the season, I think they're going to start being a little smarter about his usage, kind of tapering him off there. So you want to make sure you got another running back one, a solid guy, or tier two. Tier two could get you there too, but you want to make sure you got another solid guy, a starter. You want a guy who may not split a whole lot of carries, or a guy who touches the ball a lot receiving. Kind of want to look out for that. But like I said, he's projected at 295 points. So, considering who he is, his projection, tier one makes a lot of sense. I really feel around tier two, but let's see how the rest of the list shapes out, and we'll go from there. Did we get my boy Derrick Henry, man? This is an easy one. Just got that money. I think that money would affect a lot of other guys in a negative way. I don't think so with him. I think they should smarten up how they use him too, but chances are they're not. They really need him in their offense. He really helps it go. He's projected at 294 points, and he played in all 17 games plus the playoffs as well. Definitely a running back one guy. Put him in there. You can start building from there. Let's look to get this off. Sorry about that. We got Derrick. See what else we got. All right, we got let's see Chase Brown right here. How about Chase Brown? Now, this is a guy who I'm looking to have. He's kind of one of these sneaky kind of picks here. Let me get rid of some of these advertisements. Wearing me out a little bit. Sneaky kind of pick here. I'm going to go tier 4. A guy who could shape up to have a pretty big season this year. He's the main back there. He's the number one guy there. They're going to really look to protect Burrow. I'm pretty sure that they look at, especially how they maneuver with the changes that they're making on the offensive line. It's going to really, really benefit Chase a lot. So, excellent guy to put on your roster. Stash him if you can. I think he's going to have some big carry games. Look for some big carry games coming from him. He's projected. It's his projection. He's projected at 240 points this year. So, not a bad idea there. He played in 16 games last season, so his durability is there. So, continue to move along. Let's go to another guy. This guy's interesting. Where's he at? See if you can spot him. Josh Jacobs. See if you can spot him before I do. Where's he at? There we go. Josh Jacobs. Now, I'm going to put him here in tier 2. Not big on catching the ball out the backfield, but he's a running back you could put in. He could be the first back you take. That wouldn't be ridiculous. Again, I'm going to adjust these similar like this. I think he's a little bit further ahead than this. Just, let me see. Put Bucky back here. Excuse me. Somewhere in this range. I'm going to do that throughout. Really going to do that, focus on that more toward the end, but he's a guy who he's going to get the touches. He's going to get the carries. Got to take his very physical style, leans forward, gets the extra yards. Excellent guy to put on your roster. I would pick him as your first running back as long as Gibbs and Bijan is not there. It wouldn't be crazy. He could easily be a tier 1 guy. Just not big on receiving the ball out the backfield. I think his scoring is going to go down a little bit. This year. How defenses, because they relied on him so heavily last year, how defense is going to game plan for them, those kind of things. I think you're going to have to be wary of that part, but nevertheless, tier 2 guy for me. Moving along. See what we got. Now this guy projected at 264 points, fantasy, played in 16 games last season, and having one of the best offensive minds kind of direct him has paid dividends for him in football in general, especially as it pertains to fantasy. He's been a big surprise for the last couple of years, but he continues to get better, which is odd. Continues to grow that way. And again, you want to look at the scheme too, right? Because that's relevant. You want to look and make sure that he's in the scheme where he's going to get plenty of carries, plenty of catches. Definitely a tier 2 guy. See what else we got down here. How about Judkins? Let's see where Judkins go. Now Judkins, he's gonna be splitting time there a little bit, but he will be the main guy. I think he's gonna be a better pass catcher than even the Browns realize. I think he's gonna kind of flourish in that way. I think that's gonna kind of be his. That's gonna be what kind of puts him above the other guys because very good athlete, aggressive at the point of attack, and aggressive on the boundaries. Makes smart football plays. He looks like he's been doing it all his life. Smart football plays, especially with being with being a junior coming out of college. Plays a lot smarter, higher IQ than that. Let me see what I put him. Now he's projected at 142 points, fantasy this 2025, this upcoming year. I think I'm gonna throw him at 4. I like him there. He's gonna and I'm telling you, he might. I don't know, man. Running back 1 don't sound out of the picture. I mean, what they're gonna do, young quarterbacks gonna have to figure it out. I like Ford as well. He's gonna get some touches. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. I like the athlete he is. I think he makes things easier for the other guys. I just don't think he's a number 1 running back. But at the number 2, I do. I like Ford quite a bit. So right here, I like it. No junkies. Okay. So what else we got down here? How about Brees Hall? Now, let me make sure. Now, Brees Hall, 254 points projected for this year. 16 games played last year. Quiet 16 games too. He did a good job, but for some reason, I originally thought he was injured. But he was there for 16. Now, what would I? I'm thinking tier 3 at the moment. This could change. Watch out for this. That could change on me at any time, but considering Fields is there, he's going to get a lot of carries. I think they're going to look to use Braylon Allen a little more in this offense coming in with Glenn and everything. I think they're going to look to use Allen a little more. So I think he's gonna split time way more than he did in the past. But with that being said, very good player. He always makes good on his opportunities. So now, one of my favorite running backs all time. My favorite running back definitely playing right now, Jonathan Taylor. He's projected at 223 points. Played in 14 games last season. Yeah, man, just wanted to make sure my math was right. Some people got him at 2. Some people got him more or less in the second tier. Me, not so much. I got him in the first. If I can, that's what I'm looking to get. I'm telling you, I'm Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor. I'm looking to make that happen. That's gonna be where I go as far as my picks come when I do my draft. Y'all be able to see it. Now, see what else we got down here. DeAndre Swift. Now, I'm thinking tier 4. He's an all-around all encompassing kind of football play. He does a little bit of everything. Does everything good. Some things great. They, listen, the Bears are looking to have more of kind of like a high-powered, high, for lack of a better word, octane kind of offense. That means they're going to do a lot of passing. He's going to get a lot of receptions, and I think he's going to have open field to do it with. They just going to have to scheme him right. That remains to be seen. Young quarterback does a good job of getting the ball out to the mid-range and short. See, that's where he's going to kind of dwell at, as far as catching the ball is concerned. So I would imagine he's going to make some plays in that regard. He's going to see some open field if they scheme right. That's really what it's about. He's one of these guys you're going to have to be wary of. Really, it's going to come down to coaching with him. Sometimes he's better at making his own holes than others, but physical for his size, does everything. Like I said, does everything. Can do anything you need him to do. Not a bad player there at all. See what we got next. Let's go Jadon Blue. Now, Jadon Blue coming to my Cowboys. He's projected at 123 points. Oh, and then by the way, I don't know if I said DeAndre Swift played in 17 games, projected at 213 points. I agree with that assessment, by the way. 213 points sounds about right, as far as I'm concerned. Now we're going Jadon Blue. I'm going to put him right here for the time being. He's projected at 123 points. This incompetency with fantasy points. I think he's going to exceed that. I think he's going to get a lot more carries than I think anybody realizes. They're going to look to run him quite a bit. Javonte Williams is a pretty good back. Excuse me. Apologies, I had to get the phone. Javonte Williams is a pretty good back. I think Javonte is going to be used more as a spot player. It remains to be seen if he can kind of take all the carries for a team. Him and Blue, I think, going to have equal share. They're going to really look to get Blue on the field. So I'm tempted to throw him at 5. That's interesting. Let's keep him there for the time being. Let's see how the rest of the list shapes out, and if we adjust them, we'll do that accordingly. Aaron Jones, I'm gonna go tier 4. He's projected at 257 points fantasy. He's gonna get about that. He's a consistent running back, a stable kind of stability kind of player. You put on your roster, you don't worry about it. You don't really worry about it. And this tier 4, this might be the tier right here. This is gonna be a sneaky good tier. Look for these guys. But he's the kind of guy, if you can get him at your 3rd, you win it. You're going to be able to go real far. There's a good chance you're going to win whatever league you win. If you can get Aaron Jones as your 3rd, you're doing all right. How about this guy? Guy just popped in my head. Brian Robinson. Obviously, physical running back, smart. He's projected at 175 projected points for this upcoming year. Fantasy points, played in 14 games last season. I think he's going to seek that a little bit. Probably nothing too extraordinary, but I would imagine he's going to exceed that. I'm tempted to put him at 4. I'm going to drop him at 5 right here, tier 5. I could come off of that. Wear and tear for him is an issue. Had some things outside of the field that affected his life, that affected him. So you have that part. Physical running style. I think he's kind of a victim of all that. You know what I mean? He's, probably best suited here at tier 5 to go with the rest of these guys. Now, who else we got? Got James Conner. Let's go James Conner. James Conner seems like he's been around for forever. Hold on. Excuse me. I got my notes. What I'm doing is I got some of these guys stuff remembered off the top of my head, especially the games they played, but some guys I need to just refer to my notes. Played in 16 games last season, he projected at 258 points. So, what do y'all think? Tier 4? I'm thinking tier 5, though. I think in tier 5. I think they're going to be looking to use Benson a little more. Kind of take some of the pressure off Connors a little bit. I believe probably there's going to be a section of the season. It just depends on how the Cardinals are looking to play. It's either going to be the beginning, middle, or end that you're going to see him have a lot of carries, and the other two ends of the spectrum he's not. So I'm thinking maybe it just depends on where they're at in the season. He's going to be a spot player. You're going to see some games where he's going to get 30 some odd carries. You're going to see some games where he's going to get 10 to 12. If he's lucky, I think Benson is going to they're going to look to get Benson involved a little bit more. So be on the lookout for that. That's why I got him here, tier 5. It's hard to drop him any lower than that. Let's go. Alvin Kamara. He is projected at, what I got Alvin at? He's projected at how many points? 296 fantasy football points projection, 14 games last season. That's going to affect him. Let me see. Don't want to throw him in. Hard to put him in anything lower than tier 3. He's just so effective when he gets in his groove. He's going to be the main running back there again for another year. They're going to really have to rely on him and his ability. They don't have a quarterback. They don't seem like they're looking to get one. I don't know if they're going to talk to Aaron Rodgers. That remains to be seen. So he's going to have to do a lot. That could affect him one way or the other. It could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. That remains to be seen. However, chances are the production is going to be there and the ability has always been there. So tier 3 makes the most sense for me. I like the idea of that right there. See a guy. Ashton Genty. He's projected at 249 fantasy points. So I think at tier 4. I think tier 3. I think the Raiders are focused on giving him carries. They really feel like he's the answer there. I believe they're dead set on getting him as many carries as humanly possible. They might be smart enough not to overdo it. That remains to be seen. But, yeah, I think they're looking to really have him tote that thing. Let's look at our list so far. Not bad. I like it so far. Let me see if any changes I'll make real quick. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And this, main reason why Cook is in front of Jacobs is because of offense, the scheme, high usage, those kind of things. See what we got. Put him. What y'all think? I'm a little conflicted by this one. Let's go ahead. Quinshawn behind him. What do y'all think? So far, so good, I believe. See who else we got down here. Tony Pollard. Think I know where I'm going with him. Makes big plays. Makes big plays. Gonna be primary. He's gonna be the primary weapon there, at least to begin with. And they start to get some other guys acclimated. They start to get Cam Ward used to their scheme. You're gonna see him heavy. I would imagine all the way up to probably about mid-season. Later on in the year, I think they're gonna attempt to kind of pass the ball a little bit more to kind of open up their offense. But early on, look for him to have big games. He's gonna be relied on quite a bit, and he has the ability to do it. Not only that, he has a knack for making big plays. So I like the idea of him there. His projected points. What is he projected at? He's projected at 190 points, fantasy points. Could definitely exceed that. Definitely exceed that. That's why I kind of got him in that third tier. And he played in 16 games last year. Obvious durability is not an issue. You get injured. That's part of it. He's been injured before, but that's part of the game. But when he can play, he go. When he can go, he goes. So moving right along. About Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard played in 15 games last season, projected at 214 points. I think I agree with that. I think I agree with that. So I'm thinking 5. I like tier 5 for him. I like tier 5 for him. He's gonna get a lot of carries. He's gonna get a lot of carries, and their offense is kind of fits what he does. They like to get on the edge a little bit. That's him. He's so good at those off tackle kind of runs, man. He's such a natural at that. So he's gonna get plenty of carries. He's gonna have some nice games along the way. Running back 3 is about where you want him. But if you got him at 2, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say you could rest easy about it, but not that you'll be up in arms about it anyway, one way or the other. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, because it's not that deep. But I'm just saying, running back 2, you can live with that. If you had to, you would want to get somebody else in there for sure. But if you had to, that's what I'm saying. Running back 3 is perfect. Somebody goes down, he's your running back 2. He fits the bill. Joe Mixon, and I think I did do his projections. Who's that? Chuba played in 15 games, 214 points. I think that's about right. Joe Mixon. Okay, sorry about that. I think I'm gonna throw him in 2. I'm really worried about. He's overused a little bit. I don't think that don't spell well for his longevity throughout the season. I don't always like the way they use him. I think it's just a way too. I think the volume is just way too high, or they don't scheme him open. In other words, they kind of just everything is him making his own holes. Sometimes you need to be schemed open. They don't do enough of that, I think, with Joe Mixon. So far as durability is concerned, I don't love him just because of how he schemed. But the production, of course, talented kid. He played in 14 games last season, projected at 263 fantasy points. I agree completely with that. Running back 1 wouldn't be mad at you. If he's your first running back, won't be mad at you. You have to make some smart decisions, some clever decisions. You have to be a little bit more. You have to be a little bit more savvy about how you go about the rest of the draft. But not a bad move there at all. Let's see who else we got. How about Kenneth Walker? He's projected at 237 points. Played in 11 games last season. Let's see. I'm thinking 3. I feel comfortable with that. Let me see. Yeah, Barnes, as long as he can stay healthy, he gonna have a nice. He can have a nice season. Have a nice season. They listen. They do a good job of implementing him in the offense. They tend to do what he does well, kind of expound on him. He's a focal point of that offense. He especially will be with Darnold being there. Him and Darnold together, I love the idea of that. That's gonna be fun to watch. So I think that's gonna help him. He may not get as many touches. You understand what I'm saying? The ball I think is gonna be spread around a little bit more. However, he's gonna have his opportunities, and he tends to make good on his opportunities. I like the way he plays, and I like how they implement him into their offense. We can go there with that. Now, let's see. Interesting guy here. Etienne. I think I'm gonna put him in the 7th tier. I think LaQuint Allen is gonna get some touches as far as receiving the ball out the backfield. Tank Bigsby continues to get. They're gonna continue to look to give him more and more carries. Etienne is a guy who can make it happen, who does a lot of good things, but I don't think the touches are going to be there. I don't know if the production is going to be there. He's going to have his opportunities. He's going to be able to, but I'm not sure. He's projected at 125 points, and he played in 15 games last season. So tier 7 sounds good to me. You could go tier 6. I think he has that kind of ability when he's locked in, but that remains to be seen. Is he going to be locked in? Is he going to have everything around him go the way he needed to go? Because he needs to be – he's not one of those guys that can just – he needs to kind of be – his production needs to be produced by the coaches. They need to make sure that they know exactly when to use him, and they can't be off. You understand what I'm saying? Now, how about R.J. Harvey? Projected at 180 fantasy points. Could exceed that. I think his first year, it's going to be interesting to see how he's used. But look, he's going to one of the best top five to me. Offensive minds is Sean Payton. He's going to be the primary ball carrier there. They're going to have to find out how to use him. I think they're thinking of something like what Tampa did with Bucky Irving to a certain degree, but more of a pass-catching version of Bucky Irving. But it remains to be seen how they're going to use it. However he needs to be used, Sean Payton will figure it out. It's about his production from that point. And he's a natural. He has a pro style of playing. Talking about R.J. Harvey. He's projected at 180. What would I put? Let's go tier 5 for the interim. I might make an adjustment on that. Probably not, but we'll see as we go along. A couple more guys down here, and only a couple more guys. Stevenson, him and Travion. I didn't do so much on them because they're going to be splitting. Listen, I like the idea of having 5 running backs. Me personally, they use a lot of different running backs. They're going to be game planning and scheming that way. As far as the Patriots, and this has always been the thing with the Patriots. So, as far as getting the Patriots running back, for those who know, you always got to be careful with that. Make sure you get them at the right time. Running back 4 is usually where you probably want to get one of these guys from the Patriots. Even Travion, who people are looking to have some big plays coming next season. I think that's possible, but it remains to be seen. His usage, he's going to be one of those guys, sneaky free agent. I imagine he's going to get picked up on most drafts. He's just, the ability is there, but it's just, he's going to be one of those guys. It's going to be interesting to see him and Stevenson. See what we got. How about Pacheco? Let's see. Kansas City knows what to do with Pacheco. He's estimated at 139 fantasy points this upcoming year. He played in 7 games last year. Keep that in consideration. I think they're going to look to use him quite a bit. I want to go tier 5 here. I want to go tier 5 or the back half of 4. But because I think they're going to use him quite a bit, I'm going to go tier 4. He's going to score. They're going to look at the red zone. He's going to score. So those touchdowns, I think, going to pay dividends for your fantasy league upcoming here. Who else we got? Got Amari Hampton, projected at 166 points fantasy this year. We'll be splitting time with Najee. Let's see how this. Let me see. See, this is the thing. I think Los Angeles Chargers, they're so intrigued by Hampton, they're gonna force feed him. How he responds remains to be seen. Getting him as your third running back is probably the move. This tier 4 list, sneaky good. Sneaky good. Let me look. These guys right here can make or break you. If you know how to draft these guys right here, it can pay. It can be the difference between a couple of wins here, a couple of wins there, just on these guys alone. So that's look for these guys here. That tier 4 right there, sneaky good to me. See who else we got down here. See what I want to do. Probably want to do all these guys. How about Montgomery? Projected at 199 points fantasy this year. Played in 14 games last year. Let's think about the tier. Let's go 5. Coaching. That's really what it boils down to with Montgomery. I'm tempted to put him at 6. It's just he's such a smart football player. That's interesting. I'm gonna keep him at 5. Now, excuse me, I'm gonna get a little quiet here. I'm gonna try to put these guys in order from 1 to, I think how many guys on here? 32? I don't know. I'm gonna try to put these guys in numerical order from 1 to 30, or however many guys is on here. Let me see. Yeah, man, so far so good. Chuba. Yeah. That's about it. That's the list, man. That's the list. Yep. Now, I'll be coming out with a wide receiver tier list as well. Be on the lookout for that. I'm also going to be, I'm kind of dwindling down on my NFL draft stuff for the time being. That's regular NFL draft, not fantasy, but regular NFL draft. I'm going to have some videos coming in within the next month or two. Just be on the lookout for that as well. Like I said, I've got this. I got my fantasy draft I'm going to be doing in another month. So be checking out for that. I appreciate you for watching. I appreciate you for listening.